Hey, what is up, everyone? It is me, Nolan, from Science HD Podcast, the live podcast on Twitch weekly. And this is the YouTube channel Rose and I are going to start for this. This is it. I have a few updates and disclaimers before we jump into the video. You made it. Thank you for clicking. But I thought I'll let you know some important details before we start watching this beautiful masterpiece. So, we are not professionals. I know this outfit may be deceiving with my official paper emblem, but we are curious students, so sometimes we're wrong. So I challenge you to do your own research on everything we talk about, plus more, and suggest anything. Tell us if we're wrong. You know, we make mistakes. That's what we do. But not saying everything we say is false or false at all, but you get what I mean. Next, these videos are going to be raw, uncut, straight from the stream, raw, uncut. And so with that, there might be some Twitch things that happen. So if you know what that means, it might mean someone follows and it pops up, or I'm reading the chat. That's a good one. I'm reading the chat, and stuff like that might happen. So just bear with us. It's still good. It's still great content. Lastly, for any suggestions, questions, or private introductions, and you don't want to use the comment section, ooh, damn, that all rhyme. Please email us. We have an email. That's crazy. We have an email. ScienceHD-Podcast@gmail.com. It's great. It's a great email. ScienceHD-Podcast@gmail.com. I'll say it one more last time, because you kind of need that repetition. ScienceHD-Podcast@gmail.com. I think that sums it up. Exclamation point. Enjoy the show. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Nolan, and this, but to the bottom right, is Rose. Rose, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sweet. Yes, I can hear you. All right, so that was a good test. This is testing. I had to throw on my lab coat with science goggles and a Science HD merch. It's good merch. It's unofficial, so just watch our stores that we don't have for updates. Anyways, welcome to Science HD. This is a podcast I wanted to start doing with anyone, and the first person to say that they do with me is my beautiful girlfriend Rose. So everyone meet Rose. This is Rose. I'll let her introduce herself in a second. But so anyways, I'll introduce myself. My name's Nolan, for anyone that doesn't know me out there, whether you see this live or whether you see this wherever I throw it on. I'm a student at Northern Michigan University, and it's a beautiful university, and I study biology with a concentration on zoology, so animals, just animal stuff. And I'm going to be a senior, and I'm going to be doing research this next semester, so to get myself hyped for it, wanted to do this podcast, so here we are. And let me know if you can't hear me. Let me know if you can't hear Rose, if I need to turn it up. Anyone in the chat. But yeah. So, Rose, who are you?
Should I tell you where I live and my major and my year too?
Yes, major, year, doesn't matter where you live.
That was a joke. I'm laughing at that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, so I'm a computer science major, and I automatically have a math minor with that, but I'm thinking about double majoring in math and computer science. Originally, I was actually a physics major, but because of the way Northern's physics major lines up, it just didn't work out for me, and I didn't want to graduate 2 years late. So I switched, but I love computer science, wouldn't change a thing. Eventually, am I still here?
Yes, you're still here.
Eventually, I'd like to work for NASA. That's my want to program robots. I always tell old people when I see at work that the next time the Mars rover sings "Happy Birthday" to itself, it's gonna be because I'm gonna change that and code it.
Sweet.
So, that's my introduction.
The Discord's a little choppy on my side, which is fine. That's just my fault, I think, and some lag or whatever. But anyways, it'll probably soften out for the rest of the time. By the way, for the few people that are in here, I know people will keep trickling in as this continues on. there is a giveaway, and it's blatantly on the screen. And if you don't know how to read, enter the giveaway by typing !science rules, all together, one word. The giveaway is live right now. No one has entered. That is completely fine. And just know that it's there. It's a Planet Zoo, which is a game that I have spent too many hours on. And thank you, Duman. Too many hours. It's basically like Sims, but for zoos. And if Rose's camera keeps glitching out, that's fine. That's my fault. It'll get better hopefully next week if we're doing this in person. So regardless, Planet Zoo, great game. I think it's around like $50 value and free. Yours tonight. If you win, I'll message you, give you the game code, and it's yours if you have Steam. So yeah, I love it. Basically customized if you like building. You build your own exhibits from scratch. There's animals. There's so many animals. And it teaches you stuff about the animals too, but that's optional. But yeah, so it's really cool. I thought it would be sciencey enough to give away on this first episode. There won't be a giveaway every episode, but I would like that to happen. So that'd be cool. So anyways, that's the giveaway tonight. And yeah, so as we're warming up, I think it's time we might jump into our first segment, Rose. I don't know if you open up the Google Slides I sent you. Yes, this is Google Slides on my screen, but you don't have to. It's just, we'll show you what's coming up. The way we're structuring this is Rose and I are just bringing both science interests. Rose and I are just bringing science interests to each other, and we don't know what we're about to say to each other. And so, yeah. I promise I won't take up everything. Maybe we're going to go back and forth. This is open discussion. If you guys got questions, I put the highlight message in the chat. So if you guys have questions, you can highlight it, and we'll give our best guess because we're both students. And this is just cool stuff we know. And this is also what we enjoy learning about. So if you want to fact check it, go ahead. Feel free to do your own research. I actually highly recommend that. And yeah, so on to the first segment. I'll lead the way. It is called, don't judge me. Hold on. Animalia? More like, Annie, are you okay? So, yeah, that's my title for this first segment. I thought it would be a cool play on words, you know, because Animalia is like the whole group of animals in the scientific way. And Annie, are you okay? Is a great song. So anyways, Animalia. First animal up tonight that I want to talk about is a clownfish. Now, I brought the Annie, are you okay part in because it's like a little weird if I don't know. It's like, I wanted to. Just let me put it right there. Because there's something weird that happens with these creatures, Rose. And I don't know if you know. Do you know? Do you know what happens with them? Like the weird thing about them?
Clownfish?
Yes.
Is it like the gender switch thing?
Yeah. So I no, this is very common in deep sea creatures, what I'm about to tell you, but it's called sequential hermaphroditism. And it's crazy because it's not gender switch, which I know it's stupid to correct you on. It's sex switch. So it's like the entire sex of the clownfish switches. Because gender and sex are completely different things, but whatever. Anyways, it's cool because how this actually works. And this is, I have a good twist, so wait for the twist. How this actually works is everyone is born a male. Everyone's just straight up born a dude. And then the most dominant dude turns into the female. So let's say there's just a bunch of eggs of clownfish, and they're all born dudes. The most dominant one will turn into the female, girl power, and then the second most dominant male will stay a male and reproduce with that female. You know, those two alphas, they make babies. The male raises the babies, but let's say the female dies. because the female wasn't born female, it would turn into a female. If the female dies, that next powerful male turns into a female. So I'm like, it's crazy. Annie, are you okay? Because this is why I say, Annie, are you okay? In the movie Finding Nemo, which we all know this fish is from, what happens in the beginning, Rose?
There's all the eggs, and that, I can't remember.
So all the eggs, and then who dies?
You hear me?
Yeah, it's chunking. It's chunking out. Here, wait. Try turning off your face cam.
My dad's watching YouTube video.
That might be it. The dad's on the YouTube video might be it. Just turn off your face cam. Maybe it'll make your computer think less.
There you go. One, top. Boop.
I can hear your voice much better now. Yes, like that. And then I can see your thing. Yes. And then we got the avatar. What is it called?
Appa?
Yeah, Appa.
Standing?
Appa standing. So I can actually hear you much better now. But that's what Rose looked like. So anyways, what I'm saying is, Rose, in Finding Nemo, Marlin was a widow. So the mom died, meaning he was the next alpha male. He should have turned into a female at some point in that movie. And in Finding Dory, he should have been a female. He should have been Mama. That's all I'm saying. How do you feel about that?
Wait. Why? Why would he have changed? Is it because he's playing the mom role or like the parent role?
Okay. And then, if we're doing like ultra realistic Finding Nemo,
okay,
Marlin would have to switch into the female, because if he is breeding with the female, that means he's the next alpha male, most dominant male, and the next dominant male turns into the female when the female disappears or dies or whatever. So that's crazy to me, and I just debunked Finding Nemo for you.
Do you think, is that like a long process to be?
Now, I don't know the specifics off the top of my head of why. I don't know the specifics off the top of my head of how long it chemically takes for a male to switch into a female, but there isn't like external reproductive organs like there are in humans. Like, let's say it's not capable of happening to me. I'm just gonna say that, but it is common in ocean creatures, which leads me to believe there's some pressure to do that to make it more efficient to reproduce in the ocean. Anyways, I'm gonna continue on because I have two animals in this segment, and Disney might be on my case. Yes, you're right, Dune Man. But I'm gonna move on before they come and get me. This next one, Rose, I have to do, and you know why. It's a moose. I can go on for days, so please stop me if I go too long.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, sweet. Moose are my favorite animal, and here's why. I feel like, I don't know this for sure because I've actually never seen one in person, but I feel like everyone underestimates the largeness and size of a moose when you see it. And it's because at its shoulder, it's 6 foot. So I don't know if you're looking at the picture I have on the Google slide, but its shoulder is as tall as me. Like, you have a good reference on how tall I am, right? Well, imagine the tip of my hair, which is like 6'1", is the shoulder, that hump, or the neck area of that damn moose. And then it lifts its head up. So that's probably like another foot. So it's like 7 foot. And that's a deer. Why didn't deer need to be that big? One thing I want to get to before I talk about how big they are again, pause on that, is the antlers. The antlers in this pic that I have, this picture, image, are velvet. they have like this velvet, fluffy look to it, and they feel like that too. That's not that is normal, but that's not how you typically see a moose antler if you look up moose. But if you look at moose antler and you scroll long enough, you'll see these. And this is because that's how they reproduce, man. That's how they reproduce. And it's pretty dope because the antler itself is made out of dermal bone, same as our bones inside of our bodies, except for this is external, but same bone as our bodies. But that velvet tissue, bruh, that velvet tissue is epidermal. It's like skin, but different. It's living cells. And then they shed it once it outgrows that velvet. And then it's blood vessels running through that velvet. And then guess what? It falls off. And then, I know I'm talking way too much. This is my longest ramble. I promise that I won't ramble as much. Okay. Then there's blood vessels that run through these. And then guess what? When the antler sheds, the entire antler falls off, or even just when it's not shed, you could see the blood vessel trails on the antler itself. So next time you get around a moose antler, which I know is every day for everyone, but next time you get around one, just look at the trails and you know that's blood vessels. So it's really cool. And yeah, last thing about the moose is they can be like 1,800 pounds. Yeah, that's pretty effing big. And once again, I'm referencing the picture. It's, if you look at its like chest area lower, it looks perfectly enough length to fit a car, like the hood of a car. Now, if you're driving at night and you're driving on a highway and you don't see the moose, you're not gonna swerve out of the way at the last second, because there's no indication on when a moose is on the highway, because they're so tall that your high beams will not catch their eyes and shine back at you like a deer. And it's crazy. You'll hit it, and when you hit it, boom. What the hell? Yeah. You see that, Rose? You see that picture?
The car? I see it.
Yeah. The car is it's there, and that's a Minnesota license plate, by the way. So,
you know, my sister had a friend who ran into a moose and like totaled his car, but he always said that the one really cool experience about that, other than like maybe just like seeing a moose, was just the fact that like when you're in the UP and that happens, is all the Upers are so nice that like 12 different people stop to help him to make sure he was okay.
That's cool. For anyone that doesn't know what the UP means, that's Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and the Uper is people that live in that peninsula, whether permanently or since birth or whatever. Not everyone knows that.
So if you live, like you weren't born in the UP, but then you move later, and like let's say maybe you spent a large majority of your life, you're called a transplant Uper. And it's like it's hard to get that kind of like transplant Uper. I learned that in my UP like culture class. A bunch of cool things, but yeah.
So yeah,
not a true Uper unless you're born there.
Yes, you could tell Rose also goes to Northern Michigan University because she has a UP culture class, which I feel like is only found in the UP. So that's really cool. So the UP does have moose, and we like to go moose watching. And yeah, we go moose watching every now and then. And it's pretty fun, but we haven't had any luck because there's only like 300, 500 moose in the entire UP. And the UP is actually kind of big compared to that population of moose. But if you want to keep up with it and you want to keep on updated and what we find, I'm definitely going to come back to this podcast and show our results if we ever find a moose. And I have a plan for the fall to find moose. It's me, Rose, and my good friend Nathan. And we're the moose watching squad. But regardless, that's besides the point. That's my segment. Thank you for listening. And remember, enter that giveaway by ! Science rules. And we're going to give it away by the end. So stay tuned, lurk, do whatever you got to do. Next segment is, what is that? Physical. Okay. That's a song. That's a real song, by the way. It's physics. And that'll be led by Rose. So Let's listen, bro.
I'm gonna turn on my camera for this because I have a slinky, and it's important that you see
Do
my
it.
slinky.
Do it. And I'll translate
And
if
I
your
think my
thing comes
dad's
up.
done with his YouTube videos.
All right. It's coming in. It's coming in pretty clear.
Okay, sounds good. So, actually, I have this book, and it has like 300 different things that like you might wonder about science. So it has like a bunch of like crazy questions that you might ask. And I was flipping through that before we did this tonight so I could find an idea. And one of the things that I found was a quick little blurb about polarized light.
Oh, I don't
And
even know
I
what
first
that
read it and I was like,
is.
man, that's how I felt. The only thing I've heard the word like polarized in is like polarized sunglasses. And I know what those do because my dad uses them for fishing, right? To get rid of the reflection on the water. Okay, well, how does that work? So, first off, light is weird. It's extremely weird. It's extremely hard to understand fully. I think the only person who maybe got really close was Einstein, and then there's another guy before him. I think it was Maxwell. He
Einstein.
actually led the way. Right?
Who's
Oh, I
Maxwell?
love
Do you
Einstein.
know do
You
you
know
know
that.
much on Maxwell? I've actually never heard that name before.
Really, I did a speech on the theory of relativity, the difference between general and special relativity, back when I was a sophomore or junior in high school for some like dual enrollment college class. I made a little poster, and he was one of just like the first scientists to kind of question like how light moves. And then later down the road, we get to Einstein, who discovers the wave particle duality in light. And if that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo,
It is a
I can
bunch of
explain it a
mumbo
little bit.
jumbo.
Okay. So, Nolan, what's the speed limit of the universe?
The speed of light.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm going to reference Einstein just because it's who I'm most comfortable with. One of the things that Einstein discovered or ran into was how light moved. So we know that it's made of photons, and when we think of photons, we might think of a particle.
Right.
Okay, but actually, light moves in waves.
Whoa.
Okay.
The slinky's barely visible, by the way. Just know that, but I could still see it.
Okay. Okay. As long as you can see it a little bit. So with polarized light, the idea is that you have this vector of light, okay, and because it moves in a wave like this and it's a particle, just important kind of know that. Imagine you have this vector of light, but it's having a wave in all separate directions.
Whoa.
Okay, so now what? Did you say something?
I just said whoa.
Oh, okay, cool. So now the polarized lenses are taking one of the many different axes that you have of those waves. Okay, it's isolating one. So now I just have this rather than multiple waves on different axes, okay? So if you're the viewer, this is what polarized lenses are doing. They're isolating that one. So this is all you see is the up and down, okay?
Yeah.
Now, much like, like in movies, if there's a jail cell, you have a guy that's sticking his arm out sometimes, and he's like just waving his arm up and down.
Yeah.
You can't go left and right because there's bars. Okay, same idea, except now we're going to add horizontal bars. Now you have like this little block. So it's just like the arm sticking out. Same thing here. So rather than seeing the wave, you just see a beam.
So
okay, that's what polarized lenses are.
So how does that... So the diagram I provided, by the way, don't know if this is the actual diagram that she wanted. But
it works. It's perfect.
Sweet. I thought it would be, because I've seen this before, but I don't remember because I didn't pay much attention in high school in physics. But you did, and so using this diagram with blue, green, red, can you like summarize?
Yeah. Okay. So all those, the blue, the red, the green, all those is what I mean by like saying you have like a vector of light and you have like multiple different axes it's working on.
Yeah.
Okay. When it passes through that polarized lens, you only have one wave that's going through, one axis.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Okay. Right. So rather than having like multiple sources of light in different directions, you're isolating it down to one.
Sweet.
Which is pretty neat. And then by adding another like horizontal kind of bar idea, you're isolating even further. So I was researching this more this morning because a lot of it's all new to me. That's just like I can't get too far into it because then it gets really dicey when you get into like wave particle duality.
Yeah.
That's the light is a wave beam at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Unless you're a physicist, and if our good friend ever watches this, Asher, he might roast me.
I think he is watching.
Is he actually?
So Asher, if you're out there, roast her.
Shout out. Yeah.
Shouts out to Asher. Come on, this.
I can hear him now. No, actually.
Hey, get on here, Asher. We need you.
He should be the next host for you.
I thought we could like co-host the whole thing, you know? But
guest star?
Yeah, guest star. We can have guests.
Guest star after you're next.
Sweet. Anyways.
Okay, so remember how I told you, Nolan, earlier that I learned something really cool when I was doing this?
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay, so I was watching this YouTube video explaining polarized light and how it works and the isolation of wave particles or whatever. And I can't remember, his name was Eric something on YouTube. It was like the first YouTube video that popped up when I typed in polarized light. But he was like, now if you put your phone in a microwave, but don't turn it on, obviously, put your phone in a microwave, but leave the screen on, shut the door, you'll lose all service to your phone.
Yeah, because the metal, right? Like all that metal around it takes all the cellular, it takes the waves and it blocks the waves.
Kind of.
Blocks the waves, right?
Yeah, because the what is it? That's meant for microwaves. But the cell phone is, I think it's radio waves. Yeah, radio waves. And the radio waves can't escape.
Because
so I texted my family and I texted the roommates, my old roommates, and I was like, put your phone in a microwave. Don't turn it on, but put your phone in a microwave. And they were like, what? And I was like, watch your service. I didn't know that. Like, it makes sense when he said it. But I was like, there's no way that if I put my phone in a microwave, I'm going to lose all signal. And there's no way that actually worked. And it did. It worked. I can watch it dwindle away. I thought that was pretty cool.
In chat, Thomas Forgood TV says it's like a Faraday cage, which I do remember in physics because my teacher put it in one of our phones, because she knew every kid that had a phone, in an aluminum foil, and it works with that too. If you wrap it in aluminum foil, so that's really cool. I'm assuming it's the same science right there. So that's really cool. Is that polarized light?
Basically, I don't want to get too. I didn't want to get like too in depth in it because I know that if I like went too heavy in the details or tried too hard to like understand like the real physics behind it, that I was gonna get myself into a hole.
I think physics is always more complex when it like comes to science. In my opinion, it might be one of the harder sciences out there just because it's so hard to grasp mentally until you dig deeper and then know everything. I don't know. That's just the vibe I get from physics, you know?
I think conceptually it's fun and interesting, and then like when you can conceptually understand things, it's cool. But it's when you get into the nitty-gritty details of it all that it starts to get more confusing. Like the math, the actual math in physics. I love it. I love math, so I mean, but it definitely does make it harder to understand, I think.
Right, yeah.
It's fun.
So, is that call for segment 3?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, round of applause virtually for Rose, the personal student physicist who is not qualified enough to call herself a physicist yet. There we go. That's the title. That's the title.
I have unfinished business.
Unfinished business. So you better tune in. You better keep tuning in next week and all the other weeks. So anyways, here's the next segment. Did you know? Whoa. That's why I titled it. Did you know? Whoa. Okay. So, my did you know? I'm not going to go too deep on this either because it's like, I don't know, like the confusion level of biology hits me really hard in genetics after a certain point, and this is purely genetics. So, did you know that there are cotton candy flavored grapes, Rose?
Yes.
How do you think they make them cotton candy flavored? Unless you know the actual answer. Do you know the actual answer?
I think I'm a downer. I'm a hater. I don't think they taste like cotton candy. They're just.
Neither do I, but apparently a large population does.
Candy.
So I don't think they do either. I'm glad you've had them before, though, and you're aware. But how do you think they got them to be cotton candy flavored?
I don't know. Could you what's it called? Like if you like plant like two seeds close together or something, and it'll be like I can't remember what it's called. Is it just like crossbreeding plants? But that would be my guess. So they did something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah. So a lot of people. I'm gonna take these off because it's kind of cringy. But a lot of people think that, well, they're like, so how does cotton candy why oh, first of all, people are like, they infused grapes with cotton candy flavoring, and I think that's bogus of a claim. And this is the only reason why I know this, is because I got so curious as to A, how would someone individually inject grapes with cotton candy flavoring? B, why would someone individually inject grapes with cotton candy flavoring? And C, why cotton candy? Why not like vanilla, well, I guess chocolate would be more reasonable. Literally any other flavor. Apple would be pretty good. What flavors do you think would be good with grape? Or as a grape?
I don't know. Maybe could you infuse like a peanut butter and jelly? Peanut butter grape?
Yeah, I mean peanut butter and jelly. I mean that's half of peanut butter and jelly is grape. So
if you left half the grapes on the vine as normal grapes and the other half as peanut butter grapes, that solves the problem.
I mean, yeah, true. I bet it's possible to individually inject grapes with flavor, but I assume you would get a grape that just tastes like some weird combination of something, and it's just not as efficient. So I looked up. You can look it up for yourself. My links I got was an NPR article, which is more trusted than a .com website. So when you're looking up your sources, look for more like .orgs or .edu or .govs. But regardless, NPR is pretty trusted. But I got this from NPR, and I also looked at other websites. But it's true. I looked up how do you get cotton candy flavored grapes, and it's purely genetics. They actually took, I think, might be like a Concord grape and some one other like species of grape, and they crossbreed it. Now they didn't just get it on the first go. Oh, by the way, I'm so bad at this. Here's my grapes. There's my grape slides. They didn't just like crossbreed it once, take those grapes that came out of that, and then say we're good. They did it hundreds of times, and it was actually, I think, 100,000 is the number that I read, and it took them so long to like 100,000 generations of grape, I guess, which is significantly shorter time than you think, especially with genetics, the way that they could do that. And they do it in a lab before they do it on a farm. It's not like they do these all on farms and they're wasting grapes. They do it, and then they taste it, and they do it, they taste it, and it's not GMOs, because GMOs would be genetically modifying these grapes. It's just crossbreeding, man. It's like you're breeding dogs with a different dog to get a hybrid of a dog, and they keep doing it until it looks exactly how you want it. Well, this is the same thing, just with grape flavors. So boom, now you know. Cotton candy. And Rose and I do not think that cotton candy grapes taste like cotton candy. What do they taste like to you?
I don't even notice that they're sweeter than normal grapes. They're just grapes to me. Just grapes.
Wow. Just
you
grapes.
You can put them in a bowl with any other normal grape, and I would not taste the difference.
You know what? I want to do that. I want to get a normal grape and a cotton candy grape, and I want to collab them, or not collab them, but like swap them around, and then have someone feed them to me. Not just because I want to be fed grapes on a vine, but because I want
bring a fan up too.
Yeah, a big leaf. So yeah, all that science, that's crazy. That's another thing. That's humanity, man. We do all this stuff just to get a different flavored grape. But I also read that it was they kind of want to start doing grapes like apples. You know how apples have Gala, Honeycrisp, Empire, Granny Smith, like all these different apples. Those are not natural. Those are all by the same process of crossbreeding and just like mashing things together. So it's cool, and I hope the Grape Nation gets better. That's all I gotta say. Shouts out to the giveaway that is still going on. I think we got a couple entries. Let me double check these entries so I can confirm that they're actually entered. Yep, we got 2 entries. It's a 50-50 shot right now. That's pretty bad. But that's pretty good for whoever entered. So good job. I won't say the names just in case they want to be confidential. So anyways, our next segment, the library. Oh, shoot. Well, there's the names on my screen. I actually exposed them. The next segment is the library. And this is our segment of books that we've read or want to read or have already read, or not, books that we are reading or want to read, and we want to share them, tell all about it. Yes, I did expose the names. Sorry. And so, yeah, while I figure that out, Rose, if you want to start it off, I'm going to put this slideshow back up so everyone can see what we're doing. And yeah, if you just want to say what's going on in your book world.
Okay, yeah. Can they see my book, or do they? I mean, they already know the title of it, I guess.
I found it. I got it. Yep.
Okay, so my book was How to Teach Relativity to Your Dog. I actually bought this book, I think like 2 summers ago. I went to Barnes & Noble and I was like, I need this in my life. And it's actually a really cool book because he does narrate it as if he's talking to his dog, and his dog talks back in the book. So
No
then it's
way.
kind of funny because, yeah, there's a part in the book where like they're going for a drive and they see squirrels outside the car, and then he's talking about how like how they feel like they're moving, but the squirrels think that they are moving. And it's really cool. I haven't finished it yet. Every time I pick it up, I get like a few chapters in, and then I just have to, my life gets busy. Life gets busy and gotta put it back down. But it's one out of my large collection of science books that I have, especially that touch on relativity. I have a few that I could bring up for this, but this one's like the most, like, if you're just interested in it and kind of want to know more about it, this is what I would recommend to read, just because it's kind of fun and it's easy to understand. So,
And that's what we want.
Relativity?
And what is relativity? On the most simplest terms. On the most simplest terms. On the most simplest terms. Do the train thing. Do the train. I know you like to do the train
thing.
Yeah, do the train thing.
The train thing, like if I'm on the train.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're off the train.
I'm just saying, if it's like a casual listener, they're just gonna be like, "How to teach relativity to your dog?" Why would I want to do that? What is it? I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, so just
go to the next slide. Just go to the next slide.
So.
Ta-da! Einstein. Okay, I hope that's what's up. That should be what's up, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's doing this.
History of the man.
He's doing this. Yep.
I love Einstein. So fun fact, Einstein didn't win his Nobel Prize for anything to do with relativity. He won the Nobel Prize for the photoelectric effect, which I think is kind of shocking, especially because, like, if I ask you, Nolan, what's the first thing you think of when you hear about Einstein?
He's crazy smart. I'm just kidding. It's E equals MC squared. I know that's the answer you were going for.
Yes, it is. Thank you for supplying it. Yeah, so he didn't win it for that. And, like, I've had a phone case with all these, like, E equals MC squared written all over it. I've had sweatshirts. I've had T-shirts. I have a bunch of things that you think that he would obviously be famous for, but it's not.
Yeah.
Or not that he's not famous for it, but it's not what he won the award for. So relativity is one of those things where it's like, okay, there's general relativity and special relativity, and one of them touches on like how there's like space and time are the same thing. So like gravity isn't actually just a force pulling you down, but the curvature of space-time. Then you have relativity itself. Oh, see, this is the rabbit hole.
What's the one that talks about in your book? All of them, or just like general? Also, is the book written by Chad Orzel?
Chad Orzel, yeah.
Okay, good, because I got the right book.
That is the same book cover I have.
Sweet.
No, so this is where it gets dicey again. Like,
well, didn't you say
relativity?
Didn't you say relativity is just like I'm talking about the simplest. We don't have to dive in right now. We could do that a whole nother day. I'm just saying, like, the simplest relativity of being on a train. It looks like everything's moving.
Motion is relative to the viewer.
Motion is relative to the viewer. That's what I'm saying. And Mew really wants us to know he has an IQ of 170. So, but I'm just talking about the train thing. Like, can we just talk about that? Or do we have to, like, get dicey? You know what I mean? I feel like layman's terms is perfect for now.
We can keep it very surface level train relative to... Yes.
Yay.
Okay. Okay, so let's say I am on a train. I feel like I've heard this so many times. It's like, is this it?
Mm-hmm. This
is
it.
I am on a train, sitting in the nice little booth seat, hanging out, probably scrolling my phone or something. And Nolan is on a platform. We're not stopping at this platform. We're doing a nice drive-by. He's just there, I guess, watching the train go by. So while I'm on the train, I feel as if I'm sitting still. And Nolan, when I pass him on the train station, is the one moving. So when I look at my window, he's moving. Okay, but when Nolan's standing still on the train station, he sees the train moving, aka me moving. So in that example, who's moving is relative to the viewer, to the observer. And then after that example is when things get dicey and can get very complex. But it's really cool.
And those complexities are not dumbed down, but simplified in how to teach your dog relativity. Because if your dog can learn it, you can learn it. Right?
Right.
Sweet.
There's one thing that talks about, like, if you're in an elevator, I think is the example. Oh, what is it? God, I can't remember. If you're in an elevator and it's like, and it's falling at a constant rate, like you wouldn't know you're falling until the impact. But like,
well, I feel like
that again is what. What?
I said I feel like I can feel an elevator drop a little bit, you know, like when it's like going up and then it like stop. Oh shoot.
But if you're moving at a constant rate the entire time.
Yeah. Right. I just realized that.
You wouldn't know that you're moving.
I just realized that because when I'm like, what? I feel it drop, but that's when it stops. Like when you want to jump on an elevator, that's when it slows down or stops. But if it's just moving at the same thing, wow.
You would have no idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of nifty.
Yeah. So Einstein, anything else about him?
Oh, do you just want to talk about Einstein? Just want to chit chat about Einstein?
Yeah, we can chit chat about Einstein. What's so special about him, other than a Nobel Prize?
A Nobel Prize. Okay, so there's actually this documentary. I don't think it's on Hulu anymore. Is it considered a documentary? It's like a series. So, but yeah. I don't think it's on there anymore, but I used to watch it through my sister's Hulu all the time because it was the only thing I cared about in Hulu. And I learned a lot about him through it, and it was a really good show. So if you have Hulu and it's on there, I'd recommend watching it.
What's it called?
One of the big things I think it's just called Einstein.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just a series about him and his life. It's really cool because it starts with him like as an old man, and like the Holocaust is starting to pick up, you know. And then like it keeps like jumping back to like him as a kid, like growing up. And one of the things that I think a lot of people know about Einstein, but there's like other details to it that show touches on that you wouldn't know unless you look into it, was the whole him marrying his cousin.
Incest, you mean?
Yeah. So Einstein's family made him move in with his cousin. At least that's what the series says. Okay, with his cousin's family because he was going to school over there with them. I think it was like a better physics school. So he goes there. He starts living with his extended family, and then somewhere in there, the family starts shipping him and his first cousin. And he goes to the college or the school, and he loses contact with his cousin. They don't talk as much. I mean, they still see each other, but like they don't. It's not like as like I love you relationship. It's not like that. So at this college, he meets his first wife. I think it's his first wife. That, or at least his like girlfriend for a while. So in the series, they depict her as like being like the only woman physicist in the room. Like she's the only woman there because it's predominantly male. I think she might have been the only woman in the school.
Right.
Well, sure as shit, Einstein hops on that and starts talking to her, starts getting close with her, and then eventually, oopsies, girl is pregnant. So
wow, he's got game.
Einstein was a player. He's said to have at least around like 27 different mistresses. Like if you look up like random facts about Einstein, which I have done many times in my free time growing up because I think he's so cool. That is like one of the top like 10 facts you'll see is Einstein had 27 mistresses.
That is insane.
I know. I don't. Yeah, Einstein.
I mean, I'm not surprised. It's all that brain. You got to have some flaw. I guess that's the flaw. Like, I mean, that's a pretty elite flaw. Not elite, but like major. But I guess it's proportionate to his brain size or something.
his brain is bigger than like the average human.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about it like different. I don't know if it's bigger necessarily or there's more like, is it like gray matter, which is that what that make it bigger? I don't know.
Lobes are bigger.
Something. That's like he had a they took his brain from his body when he died in his autopsy or whatever it was. They extracted that and put it in a jar, and that was not supposed to happen.
And apparently,
but somewhere out there, Einstein brain exists.
Yeah, which is crazy. But apparently, someone in the comments was saying how some scientist stole it and then sold it or something. I believe that too. Yeah, but just part of it or something, not the entire thing. But it's probably like artwork at this point.
Like a piece of his brain.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but I'll have to look into that, or you will, or someone will. It's interesting. But anyways, we could talk about Einstein all day. I have a book. I read. I've started to read more, just because it's healthy and it's what I need. It's what I want to do and kind of what I need to do. Whether it's just articles or documents or journals, I need to read. But this one is a book. I got off a less serious or more serious book, and now this one's a little bit less serious, but still factual and awesome. And it's really interesting. And it's called Drunk Flies and Stoned Dolphins. You know, just imagine a bunch of flies drinking some beer, and then some dolphins just smoking a blunt. Man, that's what this book is. Just kidding, but kind of not. It's basically a scientific way of looking at why animals get intoxicated, because some animals do get intoxicated. And I'm on like page 30, and I've already had a realization of something I've already done. Because in genetics class I took a couple months ago, I was culturing fruit flies, like a common fruit fly. And to do that, we kept them in test tubes. And then we put a little anesthesia for flies, which is called fly nap, in there to knock them out. And then we look at them under a microscope, separate them, put them back in the test tube. They wake up, they're still living. And then we can breed them together, separate them, breed them. That's how geneticists actually learn a lot about even our genes. But anyways, fruit fly is in this because apparently fruit flies notably like to drink ethanol, which is the alcohol in alcohol. And that's why the drunk flies thing come in. And apparently yeast produces, that's why how beer is made, if you know anything about that, ethanol. And what we did, I haven't found the exact correlation between the two yet, but what I did in that class was put yeast inside the potato starch of the tube to feed these fruit flies. So maybe just maybe my school was getting flies drunk every day for genetics class. And that's just for me reading this book. Like, I'm only on page 30, so I'm going to keep updating this podcast on this book because it's awesome, and I really want to know what stoned dolphins, why they get stoned, how they get stoned. I think I already know how, especially confirming it with the cover of this book. I think they eat a certain jellyfish and it makes them high, which is really interesting. And so yeah, this book I'm excited for. It's gonna be cool. I suggest you pick it up if you don't even have to be scientifically literate to read this. It's not like it's not like a child chapter book. But yes, the flies were 21. Just kidding. No, they're not. They were newborns. And so yeah, this book, you don't have to be scientifically literate to read it. This is not that hard of a read. It's not meant for the most intelligent person in the world. It's made for the curious, and that could be you. So I'm not advertising this book, but pick it up if you like it, if you like how it sounds. I think it's fun. So yeah, I think that's the library segment. I think I have one more segment. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I feel like it looks weird because every time, if like people looking at me, it looks like I'm just looking away the entire time.
Yeah, but now you're looking at me. I think that's okay. At least they see you. Your camera finally subsided. Anyways,
Okay.
Our next segment is Camo What the Flage. I made that title up. So like it's a play on what the F. I don't know if you got that. I have to explain my jokes. That's just the flaw I have. And so yeah, that's camouflage, camo with the flage. So I can't explain how this chemically or physically happens because I forgot to research it. My bad. But I'm going to show you an image. Do your best. Sorry if you're on your phone. I need to pull this up on my actual streaming thing, but I forgot to. My bad. I'll do better next time. This will be a reoccurring segment because this is fun. I want you to find the animal that's in here. I'm not even going to tell you what animal it is because it's hard. And tell me where they are at. Or I'll give you like 2 minutes or a minute. So here's this image. I'm going to blow it up on the stream. I have to send this to the... Okay, there. Look at that. Purely visual. Rose, are you looking at it?
Yes.
I already spoiled it for you, so I really feel bad. I already told you exactly where it is.
Hey, I found it actually. I saw it on my own.
All right. Well, where is it then?
How am I supposed to? Right below the snow.
Right below the snow. Okay. So yes, if you look right below that big pile, I wish you could see my cursor on here. If you look right below that snow on my stream, people, here, I can capture cursor now. If you look right below the snow, it's a face. This face is a leopard, and that's scary as hell. This is probably somewhere in Asia because that's where snow leopards are at. And yeah, so there we go. Control Z. Yes, a leopard. So that's crazy, and that's just a cool segment because I like looking for things. Congrats, dude, man, OG. That was really good. So that was just a fun little visual thing. Anyways, we talked a lot about clownfish, moose, your light stuff. What was it called? Polarized light.
Yes.
And how cool that was. Then we did cotton candy grapes. Finishing it off with our books and Albert Einstein himself and his ancestral time on this planet.
He was a good man.
Okay, he was a good man.
Don't dog on him.
Well, sorry. I'm sorry. He was very smart, but there was...
And a pacifist.
There was some incest. He had a pacifist, but there was... Okay, anyways.
There's so many better things for him to be known for.
I know, but that just sticks out, okay?
It does.
It's a bad look. So sorry, I keep interrupting you. There's like a 1 second delay, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So you have to, yeah, I'm sorry. By the way, thank you all for watching. This is very last second. Well, I mean, the planning isn't, but the setup kind of was, which is fine. This isn't over the top. This is just something fun we do. And we're going to save the video for later because it's fun. So I'm not closing out right now because I do want to announce that we are still doing this damn giveaway. Enter right now by typing science rules with the exclamation point in front, all connected. There's only like 3 people that have done it so far, which is fine. These people have a 1 in 3 chance. So yeah, join right now. I'm gonna give you guys like a minute, and I think I'm gonna end the stream soon after this. So it's time. How was your day, Rose?
I got a lot done.
Well, that's good.
Went and worked out, hit a new PR.
New PR.
PR.
So
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So she likes science, and she goes to the gym and hits new PRs. That's
Yeah.
Rose, ladies and gentlemen. Get used to this face. Yes, this is just the outroduction, not an introduction, outroduction. My name is Nolan. I am a student, a biology student, and this is Rose. She is my girlfriend, and she's also a student at the same college. She is amazing, and she also likes science. I don't know who likes it more. Doesn't really matter. That's irrelevant. We're doing this together, and hopefully she does it every week. So peer pressure to come back. If you want to do that, there's only one really good place to do that, and that's in my Discord. She snuck her way in there. If you could figure out who she is, go do that. I'm not gonna tell you. She's really cool. So I've introduced yourself, but if there's anything I missed, go for it, Rose.
I don't think so. I think we hit it all. Comp sci major, likes going to the gym. I PR'd today because I'm about to start training for a half marathon. Hoot hoot.
Oh yeah,
So,
half marathon in July. That's crazy. I would never do that. I would never dare do that.
these things you just gotta do it, just to say that I've done it.
I guess so, man. Yeah. So, I think that's it for the giveaway. I'm gonna go back to the tab, and we're gonna see who won. All right. So just be patient, and I'm gonna play this song that was playing earlier while we wait. Except for you won't hear Rose. I'm so sorry. Uh-oh. We got a winner. The winner is Dude Man OG. Congratulations, my buddy. And thank you for always lurking in my Twitch streams. I see you there. And it's not unnoticed because I gifted a sub to the community and you won. And I was like, how did he win? I haven't even seen him in chat. So anyways, I'll message you on Discord. And yeah, congratulations. You won, man. You won. And if anyone's watching out there, anywhere out there, we stream on Twitch. It's going to be on Tuesdays, except for next week. Might be on Monday, possibly. And this is Rose, and this is Nolan. I'm Nolan. She's Rose. It's like Max and Ruby, but better because we're not related. And Rose and Nolan. Nolan and Rose. That's the stream, baby. It's short, quick, simple. I'm gonna do the ending now. Are you ready to sign off, Rose? Any last words?
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
We got the rest of summer and then some.
Yep, rest of summer and then some. Thank you all for tuning in. I really hope to see you here soon. We had a really good turnout, and it won't make me depressed tonight because I'm happy. This makes me happy. Thank you. All right, adios, chat.